Losing your mom and your daughter within weeks is imaginable. How did grief shape the way you lead today? And what does leadership look like when healing is still going on?
There's a lot in that question. So that put me into an immense reflection, self-reflection. Luckily, I had my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, to help me through that, because when you go through that type of scenario, you've got to have somebody there. That's just the way it is. What came out of that reflection was a lot of looking back. You know, Arissa was 14 years. I also have a son who at that time was, I guess, 11 when that happened. And you start to realize and think about all the things that you missed and why. And climbing that corporate ladder and the strive for what we define as success, and the bulk of today's work environment and society is getting the promotions and getting the money and getting the responsibility and, you know, everything that comes with the titles and all of that stuff. And then something happens that takes you off of that pedestal and makes you really realize that none of that means anything. And so the problems that ensued with my job at the time, and I was a senior executive with the company, right? I report directly to the CEO, and I got what I feel is mistreatment. There's obviously always two sides to a coin, but what I started to think about is, if I'm at this level and having this problem, what's happening to all of these people in the country, in the companies that don't have that level of voice? And why? Because we get tied so far down into the grind, and as you know, business owners and corporations and boards get tied so much into the money and the excitement and all of that, it just keeps snowballing. And there's a lot of people that are walking around right now miserable at work, and it all falls back to poor leadership.